But I'm going to tell you something. I can already see, look at this. It's pushing its way up. Wow, that may be packed with turmeric. This is my little moringa. I have not propagated this yet. So it is beautiful. Oh, let me show you this. It's the blanket flower. Oh my goodness. There are 6 varieties of tomatoes in this dog kennel. Can you believe it? Middle of August, 1 month left of summer. Hi, it is Robbie from Southern California. We're gonna zip around the garden. I've done different things in some places, and some places I haven't touched. This is one of the places I haven't touched, but things are still growing. You know, I thought that was a turmeric. Oh, I'm wondering if it's a canna. No, it's a turmeric. Had some pieces. Oh, there they are. Oh, look. I must have had a ton of pieces in there, and they're just growing like mad. Then I've got some parsley and flat leaf parsley there. There's my turmeric over there. Now here I have been working. I kind of cleaned it up. Oh, I can't use the word really working. Pulling out old leaves, and I've been dropping in all the baby walking onions I find. Like this one's not quite ready, but when it is, I will move it. I'll get this tray full of walking onions, and then I'll have this already. These are older and a mix of new. And then in here, I don't know if this will throw any more squash, but it is trying. This one is coming from this one. This is my geraniums. And then I've got brassicas growing in a palm tree. All right, let's walk over here and keep going, because this is not a big change. Though it's nice and green. I would like to get more geraniums in there. So we'll see if we work on that maybe in the fall and winter. See, there's the table here. Kind of going through my pots and deciding what I'm going to drop in there. Now here is normally my ginger and turmeric table, and I did change it up. I moved a lot of them back into the yard, and I'm kind of separating them. I've got to kind of make sure that they get enough sunlight. These are the blue ones. These are doing good. These are not. Now, I'm not sure why. We had a very cold start to spring, and I think this really set back a lot of the tropical plants, and that is tropical. But I'm going to tell you something. I can already see, look at this. It's pushing its way up. Wow, that may be packed with turmeric, because normally it goes down and that one's coming up. So all in all, it's good, but kind of moving things around. Let's go through here. We're really odder weather. You know, I've never seen a summer like this in all my years. There's Gary's garden. Oh, he's foraging for breakfast down there. You can see him coming up and going through there. That's Gary's garden. There's all the birds sitting in the tree. This is the bird garden. We started off with a really cool spring, but we did have a warm winter. And you know, as much as you think that's good, it's actually a setback for some plants. So we didn't do well with the stone fruit, you know, apricots, nectarines. I don't think we have peaches. But some things did really good and some things did not. The bird garden is still wild. Look, look, look. We're gonna have dragon fruit very soon. This is a new flower that's gonna open. All these are flowers that are gonna open. All of them, look at this. Here's a new flower. Can you see all the little flowers? This is gonna be loaded. This one didn't set, I don't think. Ouch, we got spikes, but look at this. This is gonna be full. I'm actually trimming a lot back. Oh, look, 3 in a row. Is that not beautiful? Look at the big one back there. Ah, and a big one right in front of me. So you can tell which ones are not setting. They're turning yellow before they open. But that's okay, there's way too many. This is a pomegranate tree in a pot grown from seed. It's kind of sitting here right now. This is my little moringa. It kind of winds around and goes into this pot. Let me step back. This I don't want. Boy, this was back there the other day, so it is really shooting through. It's too much. That's the dragon fruit. I'm trying to trim them back. Here's a moringa coming from the bottom. This is another one. There's 2 of them in there. See, I've been cutting them through because we don't want them. They come out, and like I said, they're sharp. So you got to be careful with them. But this is chia seed. So if you are a chia seed eater, and if they're fresh and good, and even if you had them stored in the freezer, take a small amount, don't take a handful, because if they're good seeds, like the ones I've been buying, they all grow, and then they grow beautiful purple flowers, and they do like the warm weather. So they will fizzle out. in, you know, when the weather cools. But my goodness, sprinkle them in a pot and you can't believe how fast they grow. This is still going strong. Been trying to pick off all the yellow leaves because that's plant food. Remember that. Not only is it plant food, it's your soil. So anything that the plant is not using, either put it back or I'll show you what I'm doing. I can set up different totes and buckets to keep soil coming. I have not propagated this yet because I have so much of it that I just haven't bothered, but I really should. This is the bat face kufia, and the hummingbirds love it. Though I will say this is still their favorite, and that's the hummingbirds' lunch. Let's see what's going on here. Not much. Here's the totes that are 10 years old, doing good. So just kind of going through here, and all I'm doing right now here is maintaining. There's my obelisk I made. I put together. It was missing a lot of different sticks. So I've got the whole video on that. I've got it on both channels. You're supposed to be able to eat this. I went ahead and put it on this bucket, and then I zip tied it on. And it's doing okay. I think it's struggling a little bit, and I should make some compost tea. But all in all, it's up right now. It's been flowering, and we'll look for new growth later because they do need to be fed, and I make my own plant food. And that's what's going on here. Right now, the birds are up in the trees. They're waiting for me to leave. There's a hummingbird. He's gonna go take a bath. Is that not beautiful? He sees us. Let's see if we can zoom in. We could sit here all day watching them, and it is beautiful. I want to trim a lot of this back, and I'll probably do it in the fall. Right now, to be perfectly honest, we have been hot, and sometimes we're overcast and muggy, like 70–80% humidity, and it's really hard to move around. The worst of all that Gary says is the air quality. With all the fires they've had around here and everything settles, it's really hard to breathe for a lot of people. I know so many people now that are suffering from bronchitis, and I'm wondering why. Not just a common cold, but just ailments like that. They're just getting sick and they're having problems breathing, and it is the air. And let me tell you something. I can look out and see a nice gray sky, and it shouldn't be gray. It should be a beautiful blue sky. So it's been tough all the way around. So it's not just the heat. It's the mugginess. Oh, I'm going to share this with you. I don't know how long they'll have them. This is a 2-gallon watering can. Can you see how good that is? You have a handle on the top. You have a handle on the bottom. It's another expert gardener. This is the shovel that you get for 90-something cents. But this is another expert gardener product, and that's Walmart. And I have nothing to do with Walmart other than I try their products. If I like them, I share them with you. See, the hole is offset. I don't know if I've got a watering. Here's a watering can with a plant in here that should be composted. It's a little green. See how the hole is under the handle? And you can't fill it. Let's say you were going to make compost tea. This is an offset hole. This is fabulous. And they're so cheap. They're under $10. You should just look at them because I know that when the holiday comes, they get rid of a lot of their garden stuff. And then you have to wait till next year. I bought quite a few, and they come in different colors. So if you can get them, it's worth buying them, even if you're putting it away for next year's gardening. There's nothing nicer than having watering cans around to quickly water. Let's say like these are cuttings that I put in here. These are all cuttings. This one didn't make it, so we pull that out. But all these are cuttings, and they're just wonderful. And you have the watering can at your fingertip, and you're not looking for a hose or running to go get water. Keep that in mind. It's 2 gallons. So 1 gallon's 8 pounds. 2 gallons is 16. So it might be a little heavy. Oh, the birds are here. They're screaming for their food. They've got food. There's plenty of food here, but I can't wait till I can clean this up. Look at all the dragon fruit back here. I'm going to spend too much time here for some place that I haven't done that much. Oh, there he is. Okay, he wants attention. There he is. With that long tail that's what? 12 inches. It's a pintail white male. And he attracts the females that look similar to him in the winter. They all look pretty close in the winter. But she'll have a red beak. And she hangs around here quite a few. Actually, we have quite a few males now. So it's not just the one. So it is beautiful. Oh, let me show you this. This is doing great. This is the papaya I planted. Oh, I don't want anything on my papaya plant. We'll just put this here for now. I love this. I planted this as a seedling. I've told you in the back. It wasn't doing good. It was too shaded. Moved it here, I think last year. And it's in the black pot, but there's no bottom on that or super big holes. So it's in the ground now, which is great. But I have 2 pots there. So I make sure every night both of those pots are full of water. You can just barely see the trunk in the back. This way I know it needs a lot of water, that it's getting enough water, but look how big it is. Now I've got one other issue here. Look how beautiful. The growth is very light, and it's because of this. So I'm slowly chopping this out, but at some point I'm gonna have to get drastic and take the whole top out so it can keep going up. But in 1 year, it has gone from a little plant, and it's just now, this year, it's probably got a good root system, and it's just shooting up. Next year, I should get fruit off of it, but I just like it for looks, so I don't really even care. All right, let's keep going because I haven't done much here, as you can see. I wanted to get rid of one table. I want to paint my chairs. These were really odd chairs. I bought them at the 99-cent store before they went out of business, and they were still expensive. I think I paid like 12 bucks for them. And it doesn't matter where you got them. They didn't fade from the sun because I have one in the house in a corner that faded the same. So it's whatever they used for the paint, but I'm going to paint them red. I'd like to have 3 chairs set up here and 1 table so I can propagate or put things on. I think that's all I'll need. And then again, here is my ball fountain. That's the old one I bought on my birthday. Wow, it would be 6-7 years ago. Can't even see it. This is all Hummingbirds lunch, and it's encroached on the fountain, which I'm sure the birds love, but I want to be able to see it. And the birds take a bath from that, and I can't see them anymore. All the different birds use it. So I need to trim all this back, do whatever cuttings I want. These are all cuttings. These were all propagated plants in here. It started with 1 or 2 little plants, and now I've got tons of plants. Propagated plant, all propagated through there. So I need to clear this out, and then in a matter of, I'm gonna have this fig tree down. Let's see, I'm not down, but all the leaves will come off. Probably not till December. You can see there's figs up there. The birds love it. The mockingbirds, oh my gosh, all of them come. The California thrasher, they all come in here and eat the figs. So they're kind of hanging around waiting. So let's just keep going. This is my borage that never looked really happy. And then look at this, the blanket flower. Oh my goodness, propagated, but it needs a good grooming. You know, I told you this, I think 2 weeks ago. I groomed everything off and immediately it went bursting into flower. So it needs another grooming really fast. In a pot, just sitting right now in a stand. And then these, it's a type of sunflower. And they buy this, Gary told me, people grow it to compost because it's really good, like comfrey. And it doesn't throw seed, it's sterile. I find that frightening, but Gary bought it. I went and picked a bunch of seed heads and I looked inside and I told Gary there's no seeds. He goes, no, it's a sterile plant. But I haven't composted it. He gave me a piece and look how big it got. See the trunk on that? So the only way to get this to grow is to cut off pieces. Like I could cut this off and just root it. That's how he got it. We bought it on eBay. And then he planted them in his yard, again, to use instead of comfrey, because you can't eat comfrey, it's toxic. People do feed it to their chickens. We don't grow comfrey. I grow the brassicas for that. But he grew this also for his garden to compost. And so he's got it growing and he gave me 1 piece. He had 1 piece left and I stuck it in here. And look how big. Anyways, let's keep going. Sweet potatoes all over the ground. I got tomatoes. Oh, really should stake this up. I've got a couple different types in here because I see these are pear. See, there's the yellow pear, and then those are red. So here it's kind of gone wild. It is wild because I'm working everywhere else, but look at this. Now this will change as the weather cools because your brassicas do not like the heat. Oh, now the sun is out. Now we're gonna hit in the 90s anytime. Even in the morning, it gets hot so fast. And like I said, it's humid, it's sticky, and the air is not even good. So it's a combination of stuff. But this will change. When winter comes in, this is really it's struggling, but it's still going to make it. It doesn't have a problem with the heat. It just looks bad. You can eat it, of course. You can compost it. This makes a great compost tea, and it doesn't have to be tree collared. Any collard, it makes a perfect compost and a perfect compost tea. But I had told you last year I was going to take all this out, and I did not because I use it, and it's really not in my way. So if it's not in my way, I'm going to leave it. But all these leaves, anything we don't use, I collect them, and these go for me to grow lettuce, for me to grow anything. It goes in buckets, and I collect it, and I use it, and I make my own soil. Anything I miss on the ground creates its own compost and soil too. I've got cannas back there. I've got more cannas here, the flowers for the hummingbirds. And then I've got, here, let me throw this in here. Lemon verbena back there. My honeysuckle, I think that's what it is. It's in the back. You can't even get to it. It's back there. There's some dragon fruit back there. It's kind of got smothered out. That's another thing I need to come through here and trim. But see what happened to the brassicas? They got so big that some of you have asked, where is the plant? It's back there. I'm going to get back here with you. It's there. There's the plant. I even see leaves on there. Let me see if I can show you. But it's buried. There's some leaves, see? So I've got to get back there. And here's the dragon fruit that's going through the fence. Back, oh gosh, no, ouch. I'm all tangled up. Wow, that was sharp. I forgot that is a little sharp, the lemon verbena, just a little bit. Okay, I'm out in one piece, but it's all tucked back there. So I'll groom it. I mean, I planted that lemon verbena there a couple years ago as a smaller plant. It came out of the totes that were down there. And I looked at it and thought it's struggling in there. It needs more room. Boy, did it. It's turned into a full-size tree. And the birds love it. They eat see the little flowers? I can't get back there again. It's got little white flowers. They're seeds. And the small birds like the spice finches, the goldfinches, they all eat the seeds. So it's really a nice plant. It smells so good. It makes a fabulous tea. I hear the birds screaming. All right, let's keep going before the place gets noisy. Are you kidding? People actually waited for the sun to come out to start working. The tomatoes are gone. You probably saw the video. Took all them off. I still need to groom this plant way back. If it makes it, it makes it. This one's doing really good. I'm not sure where it's connected to because there's only two. We've got the sun gold, I think there. Yep. And the cherry there, which was a volunteer cherry. So it wasn't something I bought, but I did buy the sun gold. These are 4 o'clocks. Is it going to hamper the tomato plant? No, because it's not in the same container. Here it is. The 4 o'clock, I don't know if you can see, is growing. See if I can get you in there. Maybe not. It's growing right next to the pot. So see, the tomato plants have their own pot, so it won't interfere with the root system. If they were in the same pot, yes, this is why I layer a lot of stuff. Because this way it still doesn't get hurt from other plants growing. It's not going to draw that many nutrients when I do it that way. Look at this. And then here, I don't know how long they're going to last, but I definitely want to get more papayas. I'm growing all kinds. I've got new seedlings coming up. These are strawberry papayas that I planted. Well, I took them out of compost years ago. They were growing in my compost and they got moved here. This one is struggling. And again, they're quite a few years old. They don't generally last as long as let's say a plant forever. It's not a regular tree. They're hollow on the inside. So they're usually 5 to 7 years, but I know that one is struggling. That one has been, going strong. I hope that one makes it another year or two. These probably won't even be ripe until November. And thank goodness nothing eats it. Sometimes I wrap tulle around the base, but nothing's bothering much of anything through here. And then here I just potted a bunch of plants. Why? Well, part of it is for looks. But part of it's also, it will hold moisture for the roots for the papaya plant, see? They broke through the tote years ago. We cut the bottom also because, like I said, they were growing in a tote in my compost. I dragged the tote here. I think it's 18 gallons, but it's all stretched out. And there were like 7 or 8 of them. And then over the years, one by one, they fizzled out. And that's probably going to be the next one in the back that will fizzle out. Like I said, they're hollow in the inside. This is just the work area. Look, I'm going to have to put something on the top. But it's a nice work area to work. Look, you got tomatoes. So how much room do you need to grow a tomato plant? A milk carton? Probably not much. But this is where I, grab some seedlings. I do different things. I haven't even worked here for a while in the heat. But I grab some seedlings, put them in containers, and then decide if I want to spot them somewhere. If not, they sit. Look at that. That's a peach? Something peach? No, it's not peach. This is my carrot geranium I got. Carrot scented. It smells so good. And I kind of put it there temporarily, and it's so happy there I've left it. More dragon fruit I planted. There's all the citrus trees. You never get to see them. They're all struggling from the heat. A lot of trees here in Southern California, I'm not sure if those are oak or what those are across, are not doing well with the drought. We haven't had rain in so many months, I can't even tell you when. But if you see the trees back there, there's no leaves on them. If they don't get any water, a lot of them could end up passing. They'll have to go ahead and take them out. Oh, let me tell you, we had a visitor in the garden. Look at this. Again, old totes. These are about 9 years old. Another cuttings everywhere. I've got mint, garlic chives, more mint. This I dragged over here, oh my gosh, last year in a pot and just started watering it. And look at this. This is one plant. This big thing, this is great. I use this in my green drink. I come through. I don't even cover it. And look how good it's doing, even with the heat. Go figure. I can't figure. It's just very happy right now. All right, let's go through the gates and see what's going on out here. So now we're in my rainbow garden. We're going to kind of zip through because it is hot right now again. Can you imagine? It's early in the morning and we are burning up and the air is terrible. Let's look in here real quick. So I went through and I dragged out a lot of the tomatoes. There's already more ripening. Gosh, I just did this. And I'll tell you, let me step back. There are 6 varieties of tomatoes in this dog kennel. There's no top, and the only thing protecting it from the elements of squirrels, and you know what, is the tulle. And it did help. It slowed down 90%. Once in a while, you get a smart one that just moves the tulle over and scoots underneath, and that's okay. There's been so many. I picked a bunch. We're eating it fresh. And I'll probably freeze some of these as well. But I've got, look, basil. I've got green basil in there, purple basil. I've got peppers growing in there. There's parsley in there. I would not do this again. Hint, it's too much. 6 tomato plants in 6 totes is just too hard to handle. If I would have gone ahead and groomed it back, but I don't want that extra work. So I think, of course I could change my mind. Next year, I'll probably do 3. And then in between on the other totes, I'm going to leave the setup. I happen to like it. Unless I make something else out of it, I'm going to keep it the way it is. But 3 tomato plants, maybe 1 on every other tote, and then peppers and other things. I just saw a whole wad of tomatoes back there. I didn't miss them. They just ripened. So it's worked out really nice. I like the way they're growing up on the top, and we'll see how long they last for. Oh, look. Who's going to get that? Oh my goodness, that's a pomegranate on the top of that tree. I didn't even see it till today. Way on the top. I've picked so many pomegranates, but I already processed them and I've got more coming. Love it. I process them by cleaning them up where it's nice and neat, washing them, straining them, and freezing them so I have them to add to whatever I want. Usually a green drink. Gary makes a passion fruit drink and he sometimes adds in the pomegranate, the seeds. And then here, just milkweed that I'm spotting all over. I'm planting walking onions in here. I don't think this has got anything yet. Nope. I can plant more walking onions as I find them. And then this, I just planted this like a few weeks ago, and this is helping to protect the seeds, though something is eating some of them. These are zinnias. I've got marigolds in here, and then all the walking onions. Is that not cool? The plastic flowers really do create the shade that they need. And if you see, they're growing under the shade because the seedlings sometimes need a little bit of shade. They do need sun, but just a little bit. I showed you the walking onions here, but look at this. This came up in a pot. Okay, it's got its roots in there now. And this is the Malabar spinach. And look, it's winding around and it's doing its own thing. Is that not cool? And I thought, why not? Just sit the pot there and let it take off and do its thing. And I don't have to do anything. That's the best way to garden, when you don't have to think about it. And then we're going to zip around because there's some changes some places, and I'm working all over. The peppers are doing good here, though this one's burned from the sun. I should take that one off. There's one that fell off here. A green one, which is perfectly fine to put on pizza or a salad or anything. This is the way it's supposed to look, yellow. These are the ones from Walmart, where I buy their mini bells or their mini peppers, and then I plant the seeds. You should check that video out. And then I spot them out here. Look how good they're doing. So this is going to be kind of a red-orange. They're still changing. And this one's going to be, I'm going to say yellow. But see, they've got their own pot. And this way the plant is not struggling and fighting with its roots from one to the other, but they can send their roots underneath. They think they're getting something. Here's another one of those watering cans. I love the offset filler because now I can do all kinds of stuff with it. Oh, I made something for it. If you are getting any of these or you have them and you want to do compost tea, tell me, because I'll show you what I made that cost me nothing. And it works for this watering can. I keep a watering can here. Watering cans are important to keep around your garden because it's at your fingertips. And then if something needs water, let me switch hands. You can just go through and water it. Otherwise, you're looking like, oh, am I going to go get the hose? Maybe I'll do it later. I don't need to do it now. And then you don't get to it. And then your plants dry out. Look at the peppers. They're so happy. Look, look, look. All free. Bought it one time to eat. And now I planted my own. This is just a geranium cutting back here. More peppers here. Look at that. All through here. Is that not cool? Look at this. Should be staked up a little better. And this is the finger lime. Oh, it's got a lot of new growth. This is all new growth and flowers starting. See the new growth? This is that purple basil. You know, I couldn't get this thing to grow. I bought it and I separated them. And I found out they needed shade at the base. Put some plastic plants around it and they just took off. All of them did. If they didn't have the plastic plants, they weren't doing good. It was just they want their base shaded. Then I've got the pepinos. Oh my gosh. Interesting fruit to grow. It's in the tomato family because you eat it either as a sweet fruit. It's not as sweet as a melon, but it's kind of like a melon, or you eat it at this stage where it's hard and you chop it up and you can cook it or put it in salad. Either way. Here's a little one that's forming. And I've got a ton of them. They're all over the place. This one will be sweet. It's turned yellow, though you do have to sweeten it. So I have to pick it and leave it. But some of these I got too. Some of them I didn't, but everything's still growing. Oh, my Jester marigolds. Look at this. These have a red stem. See? I planted these. I plant thousands of seedlings. Thousands. I don't want them all, but I've come up with a method that it doesn't take me any time at all, and I can have just tons of flowering plants growing, and then I got to figure out what to do with them. Look at that. They're all going to flower. Is that not cool? Oh, you know, I forgot to tell you. So I was watering the other night, and I looked down over here. It was so cool. And there was a deer watching me, a big buck. And he was watching me and I was watching him. And then he started coming across at me. I wasn't sure what that was all about. But then as I continued doing my workout here, I love working at night. It's just so pretty and cool at night. He came down and then something on top spooked him. It could have been a coyote. I don't know. But he ran across in front of me, which was kind of a little spooky. But he wasn't coming after me. I think he was coming down out of curiosity. Or maybe he was going to come in here and grab some tomatoes. They have done that. My pizza garden is doing good. Everything is growing in here. Oregano on the ground, my sage, my rosemary, more oregano. This is some sort of, this is Thai basil, and then I've got holy mint in here. That just kind of got added in. There's, again, this curly leaf purple basil. This is the way it grew, really bad looking. So when I put the plastic flowers around it, it bursted into life. Go figure. I can't explain it. All I know is there's something about the base wanted maybe wind protection. I'm not sure. So it must grow through other plants. So in other words, it would be growing on the ground or someplace and come through other plants. And the trunk of the plant must be protected. Because once I did that, it just took off. Because I asked Gary, how are yours growing? He said they're okay. And I don't know how he was growing it. See the plastic flowers? It doesn't have to be flowers, it can be any greenery, but it really does make that plant grow. So that's basically it. And then the regular green basil. They don't need anything. They're fine anyway. This is my work area. I come out here all the time. I'm in the middle of planting peppers in a different way. So these have been struggling. Why? Because they've been in here since, what, January in a paper cup. So I'm going to give them new life. Hopefully they'll be happy and then they'll take off. And then the lettuce, this one's covered. This one's covered. This one was covered too late. I covered it and ended up with a worm farm. So I looked at it the other day. If you want to see the video, I can put it up, but it's like a horror movie. Last night I came out here because I uncovered it. It was full of the caterpillars. You know, I don't see any caterpillars. And this was covered in wasp. And I thought, first I looked, I thought little honeybees. No, they weren't. Oh my gosh. I don't even want to talk about what was happening. Gary came over and he thought, this is neat. You got a video, post it. And I said, I think a lot of people won't be able to sleep at night. But if you want to see it, I can show you what happened. I did quite a bit, enough to let you see what wasps do in the garden. So when you see the little tiny bees that look like a honeybee, but they're not, they're actually working for you in your garden. So if you want to see it, post it underneath. Say, yes, I can take horror movies. I'm not a horror movie person. And yes, I want to see it. And I can put a disclaimer on the front and I can post it because it was horrible. I opened this up for the birds to get. I had no idea the wasps were going to come in and get it. And then I've got the peppers I just planted. And then here, oh, this is the little herb garden. So I've got my little rosemary. There's marigold, again with plastic plants. Look how they're taking off. Marigold, this is the basil. That is thyme, sage. And then this is oregano. And this is lavender. I never do good with lavender, but I had it. Uh-oh. We got other things growing. We don't want other things growing because they will take nutrients. But that's the lavender. But it's doing really nice. Then I've got the dog kennel. Tomatoes. Let's see, what else? Not much help here. Let's go through here. Oh, this has been doing good. I think the strawberries are done. The plants are doing okay. But, you know, the strawberries now are on the small side. And a lot of strawberries do really good in June and July. Now we're in August. But we'll see. I mean, there's still strawberries coming up. And then look at this. All grown by me. And then I have my way of planting flowers. Is this not gorgeous? Look at this. This is purslane back here. I did not plant it. It found its way in here. I usually pull it out, but there's more purslane back there. But these are just beautiful. You've got to collect your own seeds, and you got to do it right. If you do it wrong, you'll end up with nothing. But when you do it right, you'll end up with all the free flowers you want. This is a table Gary found in the trash. Isn't that cool? He came home with it, and I thought, oh, great. And he goes, where do you want it? I said, just put it here. The dog kennel, we could do that separate. I've got all kinds of lettuce growing in here. Then I've got some melons down here, Korean melons I just planted with lettuce. But the lettuce is helping the Korean melons. That's why it's down there. Got to clean this up. I'm going to get a big watering can in here too, those 2-gallon ones. Because see what I had to do in here real quick? In order to water, I had to get 3 watering cans, the small ones. So I thought, no, I'm going to order a bunch of those 2-gallon ones. And this way I only need 1 and then put the small ones where I'm planting new plants. Let's say a small one by the strawberries where they just need a little bit of water. I went through here the other day and picked all the zucchini that was out here. I haven't processed it yet, but I'm going to. And then I already see flowers starting. Get them trimmed up a little bit. I don't over trim. I know a lot of people take all the leaves off, but you can end up ending the plant. You'll think it's over. But I'm going to go ahead and get some compost tea made, and that will just spark the plant. Look at the purslane back there. It's good to compost. I just have to be careful with it. Here it's fine, but Zoe likes it, and it's very toxic to dogs, so I can't keep it really anywhere near her. Look at this. Harbor Freight, thank you. There was a piece on the ground that day. They got a planter. I should have taken it all. No, the reason I say that, I've been back since. Nobody watered the planter and they're all dead. But there was a little piece on the ground. Somebody was sitting there because there was a sitting place and they broke it off. And now I've got a full plant. And yeah, it kind of took out the zucchini that was in there, but I don't care. I like this plant. And then this is tomatillo growing. So I've got my tomatillos growing in here. So oh, look, and then sow thistle. See the little tiny bee? Can you see him? You can't see him. There he is. That's a pollinator. Look how tiny. They look like a bee, but they're just a tiny little native fly or bee, whatever you want to call them, and they pollinate your cucumbers and everything. More pepinos. That's the one I moved. Is now growing pepinos. So it's doing okay there. Let's see what else. We kind of made a circle in here. Oh, I'm changing this up. No more potatoes in buckets. It's a waste. You don't get that many. And if somebody tells you you do, see if it's AI or see if it's fake. So I'm going to compost here. I'm going to put colored buckets here, but I'm going to plant some stuff in between in the ground. So while the compost is breaking down, I'm going to have, well, you'll see it. When I get to it, I'll explain it because I've already got it in my head how I'm going to do it. It's going to be fantastic. And then when I need some compost, let's say, to throw into anything around here in the totes, because I love my totes, I'll have it, just dump it in a wheelbarrow and then start just putting it through the plants, and the plants will love it, or just drop something in there and grow. Potato mint. You know, he told me he was going to take it all. Oh, look at the ladybug. Look at that. Another one of our little insects that we absolutely want because they eat other insects. More pepinos. I've got to pick that. I didn't get to them, and there's a couple not good in there because we've had so many pepinos. I just go through and pick what we need. More flowers. Again, I planted it. I had to put the tulle around it. The first set I put in there, everything ate it. Probably rabbits and insects. So I put the tulle just around the base, and that's all it took. And now it's doing good. This was potatoes. My last bucket of potatoes, and I'll see what's in there. I don't know if there's anything in there, but it just died back. Look at that. More Malabar spinach. These are a waste. I mean, they're growing, but they're so tight. I really like planting strawberries in dish pans. So will I do it again next year? I don't know. Because really, everything's got to come out. You got to freshen up the soil because there's such a small amount of soil in there. And then put everything back. So I'll see my mood. If I feel like just working in the garden, fiddling around, then I'll do it. If not, if I've got a better place or a different setup, I'll decide what I'm going to do then. There's my fountain. The dog kennel is doing okay. I just picked some cucumbers there. I've got new cucumber plants growing. This one reset. It set a whole new plant from the bottom. Even though it's the old plant, you can see how green the leaves are. I'll do a separate thing in there because I've got to get in there and work. There's one watermelon in there. Probably can't see it, but it is there. And that one's about ready to pick. I don't pick them when the tendril is brown. You know, we can look real quick. Because I have found it's better to let it cure. And I do let it cure on the plant. See, this is ready to pick. It's a small one, but that's okay. But I have found that if I leave them on the plant for a couple weeks and nothing's going to get it, nothing's going to get it here. It will be really sweet like sugar. And you really can't leave it too long. I mean, of course, you could leave it too many months and then you got a problem. But see, this one's coming from the bottom. This is all new growth on the plant that was dying back. This is all brand new, but that's an old plant. Most people would have pulled it out, but I saw it was growing, so I thought I'd leave it. This is a new one. I cut this one back, and this one's in the paper cup, which it's setting its roots in there, but see how it's stretched over? Oh, it's got another stem coming through there, another offshoot. This one I think may be done, but I'm waiting to see. And then I think, yes, I just picked the cucumber, but the end is not bad, so we'll see what happens there. And I've been getting zucchini and tomatoes and everything through here. I never reset it up because I'm going to change it up. This has been full of the indigo drops. That was the plant that I got from the nursery. There was 2 in a pot, and she gave it to me half price because the plant looked dead. And I brought it back to life. There's another one up there, zucchini, and a zucchini down here. This pepper is here. And then another zucchini. Do I have any? Oh my gosh. Okay, this one didn't make it, but that's still good for eggs or something, but these made it. Cool. Okay, let's get out of here. Tomatoes. This will be all changed up. I got to, hold on, I'm swinging around too much. I got to this half early on. You saw me redo the whole thing, and this worked out perfect. Oh my goodness. I didn't have the heart to take this out. It came up in the pot. Yeah, this is not a cutting. I don't think this is a cutting. I'd have to go back and look because it's too straight. It might be propagated, but it was growing so beautiful. This is a grasshopper that got in here and started eating. I saw him. I think we chased him out. But it's so gorgeous. I thought, I don't want to take it out. I'll sacrifice the watermelon that's growing there because this is going to be wonderful for all winter. And it's protected except for the grasshopper that got in. So I left it. So we'll see how it goes. See these watering cans that we buy for like $4? See how the hole is under here? It's so hard to fill with compost tea. It's nice if it was open like that, but they've got the handle on the top. That's why I love those other ones. It's going to be perfect. This needs a really good new pot. I need to propagate the top because see, something ate it, probably a snail or something. And then sink that down and regrow it, but get some more cuttings off of my purple curly kale, which is probably a Russian red. All right, we're almost done. I think, you know, I was going to do this in 30 minutes. In my dreams. Okay, so we've gone through all of this. Okay, you know, we will do this quick because we are pretty much done. I haven't done the chair garden. I'm not even going to walk over there. It's just doing its own thing, and I'm going to get to that probably in the fall and the winter. So will I have a spring garden or will I have a winter garden? Your guess is as good as mine. There is no shortage of turmeric. That's all I have to say here. Look at this. Absolutely gorgeous. They're all growing. I've got ginger over there. I've got some ginger here. Now the ginger is not doing as good as the turmeric. So our weather conditions are really off. Got some radishes growing. The flowers are beautiful to add to a salad. They taste like radishes. They're so good. So we leave that and pick that. Here's the seeds. It probably will reseed itself. This is just amazing. But I need another table because I really love having it up. Keeps the rabbits and everything out of my turmeric. So I may reset this one up. And I told Gary to keep his eyes out for another table that is sturdy enough for all that. Again, purslane wasn't planted here, but it showed up in my carrots. Oh, and I need to plant more carrots. I picked the last of my carrots. And then this was radishes. You know, we're not big radish eaters. So they kind of got left, but there's still radishes in there. Oh, look at that. Dish pans, you can grow anything in a dish pan. You know, if you challenge me, I probably could grow corn on the cob there. I have not tried corn. I've grown corn in totes, but never in a dish pan. But zucchini got an alarm system, and sometimes it goes off. So I just wanted to make sure everything was okay, and I can hear it is. They shut it off. So anyways, dish pans, you can grow into anything in there. If you've got a small balcony, you could get either dish pan, the red one or the black one. The red one's smaller. This is like 4.5 gallons. The red one is a bit smaller than that one, but you can grow a ton of stuff. And it's like having your own raised bed, but each plant is so happy because it's in its own container. There's another one of these watering cans. I'm going to have them everywhere around here. And I don't use this. I generally take this part off, but I do store it where I know where it is in case I need it. I just usually want to get to the base of the plant and water. And then I've got another watering can down there on the truck bed. Nothing new there. And let's see if Gary's been working out here. So you know that I gave the wall to Gary. So eventually these containers, the chairs, may be moved. Maybe I'll make another chair garden. But for now, he said, no, they're not in the way. And this is the pomegranates growing here. And a lot of you always say, where's your moringa? It's there, don't worry. And I should get some more trees growing. And there's more of my pomegranates down there. Oh, look, look. Oh. Oh my goodness. That's a little goldfinch, and he's obviously in here eating something, and I disturbed him. Look at that. It's either a baby or a female. And off she goes. There's probably some sow thistle, anything with seeds. It could be, oh, I know what they're eating. Panic Bill? This is what they're eating. This is a seed for the small birds. And I leave it, and it grows all through here, and that's what the goldfinch was in there eating. So let's see over here. I've got celery. I can groom it with a tomato plant in the back. But Gary is now spotting through all his dragon fruit. So in between, he's got the dragon fruit. And it could take a year or so for it to take off. Okay, now it's getting hot. My camera is telling me it's hot. So we're going to make this quick. And then there's more here. He's spotting it through. as time goes on, he'll have to tell me what he wants to move out. He can just move it. And I can set up a whole new chair garden. Maybe here, maybe anywhere. I could move this pile over and have a second one. I don't think I would put anything here because he drives down below. He gets in his truck and he drives to his garden, which is down there. Oh, this is where that deer went through and scared me when I was here. First he was on the other side. He must have followed me around. And then he came here. And this is where we've had deer before. They come through here, and I think they're eating my tomatoes when they find him. But there must be a lot of food around because we have tomato plants growing everywhere. So this is what they do. But going back to this, I don't know where we'll put the chairs, but wherever, whatever happens, they can be stacked and moved. But this would make a perfect chair garden. And then he can trellis and whatever way he's going to do the dragon fruit. But they first have to kind of get situated. He'll explain how they're going to grow out of the pots. And then he can also put here, and then from here on, it's up to him how much he wants. If it's really successful and he loves it, and he's got all those different varieties, then maybe he will continue and do the whole wall, or at least another portion of it. Right now, it seems like the butterfly garden is really starting at this milkweed, and it goes all the way down. I never got to this, and maybe I won't. If he wants to put even dragon fruit in here, that would be beautiful. I think he built this bed, oh my gosh, 8 years ago out of this wood. He could put dragon fruit in there and it can go up. I mean, he's got the entire wall. Worst comes to worst, it climbs above the wall and keeps going. But this has been great. This is the butterfly garden. And then I grow them in pots, the milkweed, so I can move them around. I think I just moved one there. See, it's got, oh my goodness, more purslane in there. It's not gonna hurt anything. But I plant them in pots, and then any of them that don't look good, I can pull out. This is a nectarine tree because I took a lot of nectarine pits last year, threw them in pots. There's 2 of them. I want to move that. I want that tree because I love my nectarine. I've got pomegranate trees in there. That's coming out. And then the flowers will stay in there. The cannas will stay. Let's see. We've got the Mexican sage will stay there. And then this is basically where it ends. And we've made a full circle in the garden. There's my tomatoes planted from seed. And there they are there. There's tomatoes growing in here, but this container doesn't even have holes. There's no holes in there at all. So it just holds the water and they're growing. Look, I got all these tomatoes and purslane. Everything's fighting to grow in there and there's no holes. And look how far down the soil goes. Is that funny? There's milkweed in there too. This was supposed to be moved a long time ago and things started growing. So that's it. We've made a full circle. I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know what I'll do with the avocado tree. Who knows? I might yank it out at some point and just stick it somewhere. If it makes it, it makes it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I want to keep the path clear. Again, this is a driving path and it takes Gary down to his garden. But all in all, I don't want to make it sound sad. We've had this property for years and we had all our parties here and the whole family would come, and this was a huge parking lot. There wasn't all this stuff there. Even the dog kennels weren't here. Just the chair garden I built years ago. And everybody would park here. Now all the kids are growing up and doing their own thing. And now it's just Gary and I. And I'm looking at this and I said to him, I thought of a tiny house. We have a house, but I so like tiny houses. I thought of a tiny house. It's so funny. I was thinking to call it the Hummingbird Cottage because I know how I could bring all the birds in and it would literally be covered in hummingbirds. The other thing is to kind of go through this and make this into a garden with trees, an orchard, all different plants to grow food, of course, and flowers. So I don't know. Right now, nothing, but just all these thoughts. We'll see how things go. And then we got the pepper tree. I don't know how long it will be there. It's split in half once, but still going strong. Looks beautiful right now. So many things we could do with this land. And it sits. Well, it's got his wood chips and the horse manure that's been there for how many years now? We'll see what happens. But all in all, as long as you've got it, you can always decide and dream about the different things. Because how many times do we all change our mind last minute? I'm going to sit for a minute. When you have all these thoughts. And that's the nice thing. Gardening is never done because gardening is constantly changing. Whether you change it or the garden itself changes it. And that's okay. That's what makes it fun. So I hope you enjoyed this. I saw Gary collecting some greens, which means he's making tortillas for breakfast. He's got his specialty breakfast he makes. I'm going to go have breakfast. The sun is out. It is now hot. And believe you me, we have been hot for so long. I guess you could say we're in a heat wave. And that's okay, because I've got this nice, cool place to sit in the morning until the sun comes over, which is usually not until 1, 2 o'clock. Just a nice place to sit back, do some gardening, and I better get some more lettuce planted, because if I don't, I'm going to cycle through and use all my lettuce and not have lettuce. We have lettuce like a salad every day, and it is amazing. So with that, have a wonderful day. I hope I'm giving you pointers. Don't forget, if you've got no garden, you got a small place, a table, a balcony, those containers, those dish pans, whether they're white, red, or black, make fabulous planters. They're mini raised beds. There's really nothing better for a small gardener than to have a dish pan garden, because you have full control no matter what you want to do with it. So with that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye, everybody. I'm going to go get breakfast. And don't worry, you'll see Zoe soon. She has to stay in the house. She's got toys, believe you me. She's got her balls. Until I know all the snakes are gone. I've not had a snake in the bird garden. That is, I haven't had a rattlesnake. I don't worry about the other snakes. But there's been a lot of rattlesnakes around lately. You've probably seen the news of what's going on in California. So I keep her in the house with toys. She's not happy. She thinks she's punished. I bring her in the bird garden sometimes very briefly, but I really worry. And I would say by the September, we'll know. They go into hibernation and it will be safe then. Right now, their numbers are too high because, well, those critters love the heat. And I have to be careful, because with her, it's not that she'll attack it, though she probably would. Gary's healers are very careful when they're running around the yard, so if they see a snake, they go away from it. It's more that she may not see it, and that's what worries me. And Gary's always looking around to see if he sees any, and there's been a few around. We've heard the reports from different people in the area. So that's why she's not out with me. She has to stay in the house. She's got her garden, the deck garden, and that's where she plays, and she's got that all day. And she loves it. So that is why you don't see her with me in the bird garden. You will. Give it maybe next month. Bye-bye again. I'm going to go get breakfast. Sock, an old sock. That's been washed. I washed the old socks I'm not wearing anymore, and I use them for polishing and stuff. Can I have this, because this is going to go on for 30 minutes? I want to turn it off. Can I have the ball? I want to shut it off, Zoe.